Checkity check, check, check. We are at Liquid Smoke. Checkity check, check, check.
Welcome to Start Here. My name is Cody Parson. I'll be your host, and I'm here with my co-host, Jun. This is episode 1 of this year's new, exciting introductory podcast to many of the culture that we have around here in Middle Tennessee. And we're starting with Murfreesboro-based live act Blue Willow. How you guys doing today?
Yeah, doing pretty good. Yeah, pretty solid.
Pretty good solid Sunday, huh? Way to start the day. I know Matt said it's a little early for some rock and roll, but you'll get to the jigs when you get there, won't you?
Yeah, we crawl out of bed, we make it happen, and we play the gigs. So
good stuff. Thank you guys for coming out today. We want to just start going over. So this is this inaugural, so this is us getting our feet on the ground running and kind of coming out. Want to go over a few things, kind of get some rundown about who you guys are, the background of your band, little information, tidbits we can. So let's start from the beginning. Matt, I'm assuming you kind of started things off. You're the front man, so give us the rundown. How did Blue Willow start?
Okay, so are you ready for this this whole journey?
Absolutely.
Okay,
that's what we're here for, baby.
It's kind of a tale. All right, so I had gone home to Knoxville, and I had met a bunch of hitchhikers named Blue and Willow. All right, so I agreed to let them hitchhike to Nashville with me to stay at Mike's house.
So you said you went back to Knoxville because you were an MTSU student, correct?
Yeah, I was an MTSU student. It was during the summer. I think I went down. My sister was dating some dude in MTSU, so we were coming back. So we come down with we pick up Blue and Willow, and I remember I told my sister, I had my sister hold a knife the whole time. I'm like, hey, if they try anything, you don't hesitate, you go, So
with these hitchhikers,
it's hitchhikers, you never know. So. Yeah. So we drove them down to Murfreesboro, and then we stayed at Mike's house. We went to Mike's house, and I'll let Mike take over right here about what happened.
Were you guys already friends at this point, I'm assuming?
Oh, yeah, we were friends.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you were in a band that went by a different name at the time called The Shut-In.
Yeah, we were
having a house show at my place.
Oh, nice. So they were coming down for the house show.
Yeah, he was coming in for the house show, and he brought these 2 new people, Blue and Willow, with him to attend the show.
These vagabonds.
Yes. Yep. Should I tell the... So, during the show, there's a rumor that supposedly these 2 people hooked up in my shower.
Blue and Willow.
Blue and Willow. Yep. During the course of the show. So how much that's true, we'll never know, but that seems to be the rumor that stands. So.
Okay, that's a fitting name origin too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So did you naturally, I guess, from that point, you started talking about playing in a band together, and it kind of came up? Or?
Well, what happened was my old drummer, me and him got into a dispute, and needless to say, some things were said. Like love him to death, still forgive him. He kind of beat me up. And we stopped being in a band together. I moved back to Knoxville, and I worked for UPS for about 2 years, and I was like, I hate this. So I moved back to Murfreesboro after COVID, and I hit Mike up, and I was like, hey, let's do this. So
I started the band back up as a new version of it.
Project, okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah,
okay.
So we were doing it online originally. It was me, him, and Frank.
Yeah, it was right during the quarantine, so we were emailing each other tracks.
Okay, so you were doing
tracking everything individually.
There was a lot of bands that started.
Yeah, it was really tough, and I'm sure that put a lot of work on the guy who was mixing and editing it all to try and make that all make sense.
But then after that, I met Jonesy at I was plumbing at a place called Surf Star. And he was there, and I was like, hey, you should come hang out with us. And he's like, I don't really know if I want to play, in your band, because he's like, I don't know what I'm going to do. So he came, and then the other guy quit, and then he just kind of slid in, didn't you? You just took over, right?
Yeah, pretty much. These guys were already playing together for
If you remember, Jonesy, you showed up to our first rehearsal with a guitar.
Yeah.
And then literally, the next week, the bassist quit. And you just kind of slid into that.
Yeah, Adam quit.
And you've been there since, buddy.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, we were doing the plumbing thing, and they were like, hey, we're in a band. I was like, oh, shoot, yeah, I play guitar, and I hadn't played saxophone in like 10 years. But I was like, yeah, I play saxophone too. Yeah.
Classic.
Yeah, so yeah, we were just jamming and stuff, and then, Adam quit, the bassist, and then...
almost a case of right place, right time kind of deal.
Yeah, and he was just like, hey, man, you want to play bass? And I was like, sure, man. I mean, I was already there like 4 times,
So you were already kind of a natural little crew that kind of did develop together anyway. First, you guys had history, and like, I guess when the discussion for the band name came up, you're like, remember the Vagabonds from the house show years ago?
Yeah.
So that's the actual origin of Blue Willow.
Yep.
That's beautiful. I wish I'd known that sooner. That's awesome. So you get Jonesy, and he comes in, slides in, and starts picking up the bass end. And you guys performed as a 3-piece today, but I know you're 1 member short from what you usually are, right?
Yeah, normally Lily's with us, but she's serving at Red Robin, and this came up last minute, so we couldn't get her off.
For sure. When did she come in? Tell us the story of her coming in.
Okay, so Lily came in about, like, what was it, like 4 months ago? 5 months?
Start of the year.
It's probably like 7 months ago now.
Yeah, something. We've always had a female backup singer of some kind. That spot has kind of rotated out a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she just kind of filled another role.
Well, yeah, she came in, like, I think I was going, like, I used to go to Red Robin a lot, and I went through, like, a breakup, and me and her were, like good friends. Me, her, and her husband would hang out and, like, just chill. And I think Mary at that time, our old female vocalist, she was doing an internship at Disney, and we were waiting for her to come back. But when she came back, she's like, hey, I just don't know if I can do it. So she played one last gig with us. We played in Centennial Park in Nashville for Musicians Corner.
Yeah, that's the Musicians Corner
Yeah.
show. Yeah, that was a killer show for you guys. It was awesome.
Yeah, it would have been cooler if Camilla Harris hadn't come and, like, disrupted the whole flow of traffic and let nobody show up. So that would have been cooler. You remember that? Yeah.
It was like once the traffic cleared, our show was over and everyone started showing up to the gig.
Oh, politicians. How it be? So kind of speaking around about bringing in, talking about having various roles in the band. You've always had a female backing vocalist. What exactly, if you guys would say conglomerately as a group, some of you guys' biggest influences? Because it's really all over the place. There's songs you guys have where I'm like, yo, this sounds right at home, and like on the radio in 1967, and other songs where I'm like, oh, okay, they're doing this now.
Yeah, I think a lot of that comes from Matt basically writes the songs, like a chord progression and lyrics, but then you have the bass player and I, who are so different musically, with our interpretation of it, it then changes it into a new groove that might represent different eras in time, things
So
like
that's the method of the band. You bring the
For the
songs
most part.
forward, Matt, and you guys kind of, all right, now let us put some stank on it.
Yeah,
Precisely.
he basically makes songs like every day, like or riffs or little riffs, and he makes like every day, and he sends.
Yeah, I think the list of songs we haven't written or finished working on is way longer,
Pretty
and will
much,
always
yeah.
be longer than the amount of songs that are done in our current rotation.
Like every day, he sends it like, "Hey, guys, listen to this," and the next day, "Hey, listen to this." So we got all these songs,
Can't even
and then
keep up.
during practice, he'll start playing, really, and then I'll start playing, do a riff, and then he.
Right, and some of them stick, and like the next practice, you're like, dude, let's do that other one again. And then other ones you kind of forget about.
And then he's
but that's
already
how they
forgotten.
come
Yeah,
forward
it's just like, oh
naturally.
no, I already got this new one now. Well, no,
Yeah.
what about the other one we did last week?
Sometimes you have to slow them down a bit.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they keep me in check, making sure I don't go off the wheels, because I really forget everything, So
Yeah, the performance was fire, man. I was
thank
out
you very
there in the camera. I was just like, all right, I gotta keep it professional. I'm trying to shoot here, but I can't help it but being a fan. It was awesome, by the way. And thanks for the opportunity for having us here in Liquid Smoke. And like I said, I asked you guys earlier. Have you seen guys in the restroom in Liquid Smoke? It's pretty good.
Oh yeah, the bathroom's
Yeah,
amazing.
dude,
Yeah,
go
you
in there.
can't beat the bathroom at
This is
Liquid
your guys'
Smoke.
like home venue, isn't it?
Yeah,
we
we played here like a couple of
Yeah,
times.
we all
and-
live just a few minutes away, so yeah.
I just want to ask to backtrack. You play bass. You also played saxophone.
And I've been playing guitar for like 10 years.
10
Yeah.
years.
So
Yeah, I would say actually guitar is your main instrument, isn't it?
yeah, nowadays.
Yeah.
So.
And you play drums, but do you play any other
I play
instrument?
bass a little bit. Me and him have a side project that we play, and I play
Okay.
bass,
Oh, yeah.
and he plays guitar and sax.
That's pretty
Three Blind Mice, right?
That's correct, yeah.
I've seen that project as well.
Yeah.
I always love seeing conglomerate bands like you guys are, where you kind of can tell that everyone comes from different backgrounds and has different strong influences. Because the most interesting bands we wind up seeing regionally, and I'm a guy that's kind of been in for a long time and I've ran live sound for years and kind of been a promoter. And so when you find acts that really are like a smorgasbord of characters and people that make up something, it's what it makes it chef kids. It's beautiful about it. Yep, it's perfect. Rounding back around, I know since I've been working with you guys, I've probably seen you release like 3 or 4, maybe 5 singles. Tell us about the catalog of music that you have out now. Like, what all is available for anyone watching to go home and check out?
Well, we have a couple of songs out. I think a total is 8 is what we have. We have like an EP from before they were in the band, and we've been working on an EP that's gonna be out sometime. We don't know. We know like we got another song. We got our
keep bringing a new song in every week. What
well,
do you
yeah,
wanna
you
do?
know. we don't really know, but we got another song. I think Blind Man is the next one that we're working on, and we got the EP that we've been working on. We went, what was it, like last year, down to like my buddy Mike Hardwick's studio. I think he called it like Radioactive Recordings. I don't remember what he called it, but it was a little place that we went there, and we recorded. It was me, Jonesy, Mike, and our old keyboardist who quit, Patrick. And we went and recorded like, what was it, like 4 or 5 songs?
Like 5 songs, yeah.
We recorded 5 songs in like 2 days.
Yeah.
So yeah. So
Nice,
we've just been slowly getting them mixed for like over the year, I think.
Okay,
so.
right. So you're just kind of staggering them out as singles and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
That seems to be honestly in the world of modern like music marketing, we're oftentimes told to do that more. I think even though a lot of people, especially conceptual bands like you all, and like many people I know, we want to go and like release a body of work at a time. Like, oh, here's this record that we spent a year on. Here's these 10 to 12 plus songs. But nowadays, attention spans are so
exactly.
It's a
much
different
shorter.
kind of fan that's looking for that full length album. that's usually something when the audience knows you more. You know,
Absolutely.
when you're kind of starting out and you're still trying to find that audience, the singles do seem to perform a little better.
That's definitely the opting push that I hear everybody talk about now. You have to have some kind of established draw, some kind of established backing, like to make albums that people want to listen to.
Absolutely.
Because if anyone knows you, it's like, give me 3 songs, let me hear the next band. Because that's just the world we kind of live in.
Yeah.
But
Unfortunately.
how do you guys feel about you're Murfreesboro based? I know Matt said he's from Knoxville. Where are you guys from? Where are you two from?
Shit, I'm from fucking Illinois, Wisconsin.
Nice. Okay. A
Scotty,
conglomerate,
yeah.
the Midwest, huh?
Yeah, Midwest. Yeah, don't you know? Yeah.
What brought you down here then?
Shoot, man.
What brought you to plumbing when you ran into old Mr. Matt here?
Oh,
Yeah.
shoot, man. Well, yeah, I've been in the South for like 6 years, 7 years.
Okay.
So, yeah, I still live in Alabama, but I've been in Tennessee since like 2019. I had to move back in with my mother. So, yeah, that was like 2019. I was in Clarksville. I was up there, off of like Wilma Rudolph or whatever. And then 2020, got my own place in Murfreesboro, and then I was doing the plumbing thing, making buku money. And then, it's,
The rest is
Murfreesboro
kind of
was
history,
like pretty cheap at the time. So that's really
At the time.
that's all it was, yeah.
So what do you like here the most compared to Illinois and some other places?
Oh shoot, dude! Illinois is just like flatlands, dude. It's just like nothing, man. And besides like Chicago and stuff, man. But other than that, dude, like once you leave the city, it's just fucking flatland, cornfields. Yeah, man. It's just boring as shit. I mean, I miss all the teams and the food and stuff like that, man. But Tennessee, man, you got different, like you can go hiking and stuff like that. Good like.
There's a lot to offer in
mountainous
this state.
regions. Yeah, man, and like the whole music scene over here is kicking too.
I was gonna say, is music? Would you say music is primarily what brought you down here to the South?
No, not really, man. I was just
You were just riding life, baby.
riding like
I feel you. I feel you there. We're all that way
guys,
sometimes.
pretty much, man. Yeah.
What about you? Where are you from?
So originally I'm from Syracuse, New York, upstate.
Okay.
I like to joke and call that Southern Canada. So
Southern
it's only
Canada.
about 50 minutes away to the border.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
Just right by the border, don't you know?
Yeah, a Canadian change gets mixed in with our change.
All the time.
Yeah.
I believe it.
So I originally came down here to go to MTSU.
Okay, for music?
Yep. Well, for audio engineering.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Close
Same
enough.
idea. I think that's pretty much the reason I've stayed is because the music scene here.
True.
I mean, back where I'm from, whether it's musician, art, or anything that y'all are doing with the cinema here, it's like, if you say, "Oh, I do music," it's like, "Oh, but what do you really do?" We're here. Oh, I'm in music, or I play, or I'm an audio engineer,
Right.
or oh, really? For who? There's like a follow-up question.
Yeah.
Like it's taken much more seriously here,
Excellent.
and that's definitely the reason I've stayed.
So the
Sure.
culture, the culture essentially of like, that's the one a lot of people I hear and a lot of touring musicians tell me, like, especially coming from places in the Midwest or like offshoot places like Vermont or something, like people are like, man, nothing back home is like it is down here. And I hear that a lot. And I guess that's what kind of cultivates a community of live music and a lot of original bands. So kind of backtreading on that, how do you guys, what has driven you to stay in Murfreesboro as opposed to going to Nashville?
I think first and foremost is probably living expenses. I don't know. Maybe I speak for all.
That's all of us.
I would assume that's all of us.
I think he hit the
Traffic.
the hammer on
That's
the nail.
another one.
Too. Oh my God.
What do you guys think about the weather here?
Oh, Murfreesboro?
Yeah, like
I
here
see
just
storms that are hitting Nashville, miss Murfreesboro all the time. I have a mother who likes to text me for every possible weather threat, and I'm like, I'll look at it and I'm like, it's gonna hit Nashville, but it won't hit me. And sure enough, we'll get like 2 drops. In
Right.
Nashville, there's trees down. I don't know what it is, but weather-wise, I'm quite happy where I'm at.
True.
We have all the tornadoes though, right? So that's the only thing I
The
have.
other I mean, you're coming from the Midwest too.
Oh
It's
yeah.
bad up there too, man.
Oh yeah, yeah.
There and here seem to be the 2 big tornado places of the country.
Mhm.
Okay, so back on the subject, you said you're going to be releasing some new singles. Do you guys have any cool shows on the books right now you want to tell us about?
I think because we
Yeah.
recently lost some members, we're kind of working on trying to replace those. We don't really have anything on the books right
We
now.
on spring water.
Yeah, we're playing at Springwater.
Yeah,
I
we
think
actually
with
got
Pulp
something.
Love. I think that's next week on
Yeah,
the
we have
15th.
like one show right now. On the
Right,
books,
right.
Yeah.
You're kind of repicking the pieces back up, getting things back to charge.
Absolutely. I got
Something in
Gotcha.
Paducah. I don't remember
Well,
where that one
From
was.
what we could tell today, you didn't miss a beat. You don't seem like you're missing much at all of the machine. The three of you seem to deliver absolutely top tier. So
Hey.
Awesome. Thank you. Man.
Thank you.
yeah, and I think that probably anything else you want to hit on today, June?
Again, I would like to appreciate you guys for coming here. This is gonna be our first episode, and again, like it's all about love and friendships. You know, right now, the performance y'all give us today is just fire. I was just a little worried about you hopping on your amplifier. You know, like I hope you don't.
He does that all the time.
He's a rock
So-
star.
The amount of
dude,
close
yeah.
calls.
But
I
I
think-
do love the energy. Again, you know, it's all about creating this community and the opportunity for other musicians to share their art through us, and of course, like maybe there's a teenager that watching this podcast and they'll be inspired to be like you one day. You know, so I appreciate you guys coming here. I really do.
Absolutely.
We thank you for what you do, because if you think about it, you know, like, well, we've been doing this for like a while, but there's not really a lot of platforms out there trying to give the little man a heads up, you know. So
Yeah,
it's
definitely
it's
appreciate
important
an
to
opportunity like this, for
give
sure.
thanks to the people that, like, you got your whole crew out here. You brought snacks, you know. You filmed us. You let us do our thing. You know, you gave good direction, and you brought Cody. He's a great man. You know, he knows tons
Much
of people that are gonna like make this show a success, because that's what it's all about. It's just the team, you know. So
And I just want to add, if you guys need anything, just let us know. Again, like my film crew was very appreciative with, you know, it's sharing the knowledge. Again, like we're also a bunch of film students, and they're trying to learn from you guys, and we're learning from each other. So again, like if you guys need anything, just hit us up. And again, thanks for coming.
thank you.
Heck
I've
yeah.
got one thing I want to ask you guys before we call it. If you were giving advice to any young up and coming creator, whether it be of music, art, film, what would your group's advice be towards someone coming to Middle Tennessee to get involved with these various communities and cultures?
Big one for me is find an environment where you're accepted. I think that's one of the biggest reasons I'm here. Is I got a very stink face. Oh, that's what you do. You know, find a place where you're accepted with what you want to do.
I would say my main thing is just, when you're doing it, remember why you're doing it, because a lot of the times when you're getting sucked into it, you get wrapped up with like things that don't matter, like, you know, like going viral and all those other things. When you're doing something that you love, if you really pour in your heart into it, then it will naturally bring people to it. We at shows, we don't really often sell our merch. We give our merch away, and people are like, why you do that? It's because
I can attest to this.
it's-
I have a blue Willow shirt that it was gave to me.
it's because we believe that, you know, it's about like you gotta give to receive. If you're constantly trying to like take and not give back to people, then you're gonna find yourself in a situation with no one around. And trust me, I learned this the hard way from me. Like when we were first starting off, I was very, very greedy, and I wouldn't help other people out. I would take and I wouldn't give back. And when you learn how to, if you're in a band and you're trying to help other people out, it's about like starting, like you can start anywhere and have a music scene. Cody's proven that. You know, we used to do it down here. It's about taking the time and like giving to others, and sometimes you have to take the focal point off of you, like what you guys are doing. You know, it's like you're taking your time, you're putting the focal point on the artist. Whenever you guys are the people that came up with this great idea, but that's what it's about. It's not about me. Sometimes it's about building a community. So
Yeah, I agree with that too. You know, just if we're coming here, just go to all the bars and all the venues over here
be
and
present,
making
support
connections.
the
Yeah,
musicians out there,
having
yeah.
a presence and hooking up all the other bands. You know who they are, so you can, you know, if you're ever booking, you know, you can have other bands to play with you, because you can't really stand out if there's no scene already. So you got to build the scene and bring everybody up with you, so they're out. The spotlight will be a better spotlight on where you're at, so everybody else will come up too. Hopefully, if you make it.
Yeah,
So
100%. Do you have any social media that you guys want to promote?
We have an Instagram, a Facebook, and a Spotify. It's just Blue Willow, Blue Willow Band. You know, on Spotify it's just Blue Willow. Yeah, there's music on there. It's free. You know, if you want to go listen to it.
My select track, my big recommendation is "Boy Crying Wolf." I love that song, so that's one of my faves. So we appreciate you guys' time today, and you guys as well. So
yeah, thank you guys very much.
Thanks.
Y'all have a great one.
All right.